بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. Let's inshallah continue with our Quranic overviews. So we took Surah Nur yesterday, and inshallah now we will continue with the next surah, and this is also the next group of surahs. So we have, alhamdulillah, we have completed 3 groups of surahs. So yes, I'm going to recap the groups of surahs now. It's going to be interesting to see who remembers what. Yes, very good, inshallah. So please, if you have got the summary booklet, then please have it with you now so that you can, inshallah, look at it. Hopefully you know it. But if you haven't got the summary booklet with you, then can you get the summary booklet now, please? And I'll open it as well. Go online and open it. Go to the website, go to resources, and there's the booklet. And here we have the first summary of the groups of surahs. And as you can see there, the 6 groups of surahs we have completed, alhamdulillah, with Surah Nur, the first 3 groups of surahs. Yeah. So the first group of surahs is, this is all of these surahs, they are in response to which dua? Al-Fatiha, the dua in Al-Fatiha, which is Ihdina as-Sirat al-Mustaqim. Okay? Oh Allah, guide us all to the straight, upright path to your pleasure, to Jannah, to the hereafter. Ameen. In response to that, Allah has initially given us our Sharia framework. What were the main aspects of this group 1? So brainstorm group 1, people. Jihad. You can't just say jihad, yeah? Sharia. Okay, so group 1 is the Sharia. Good, so at least there's some, let's start with Sharia, yeah? So Sharia. So what do we learn about this group, about the Sharia? Start, so please. Iman. And then? Islam.
Then jihad.
And then after that we will get to jihad. Infaq before that. And what's the vision? Vision is shahada ala nas. Shahada ala nas. Okay, that's the vision. And then, so that's Surah Al-Baqarah. What's Surah Al-Imran summary? Quick. Invitation to what? Sir? To invitation to the people of the book. Invitation to the people of the book. And
How to keep united.
Unity. How the ummah will be united. How will be united? Through what? 3 things? Taqwa. 2. Hold fast to the rope of Allah, Quran. And do not be divided. Okay? And then Surah Al-Nisa, family. So what does it talk about? So some of the commandments regarding the inheritance, rights of widows, orphans, who else? Good. So marriage and the role of husband and wife. Okay, and then what brings the community together, society? What's the gel? What unites people's hearts? In Surah Nisa. People are looking at me now. Surah Nisa. What does it join? How do you join the hearts of people in Surah Nisa?
Obedience to Allah.
Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the messenger. You people are disappointing. Love and obedience of the messenger alayhi salatu wassalam. Love and obedience. My sheikh, he told me, now I'm understanding it, subhanallah. We were not worthy of him then, subhanallah, even. He said, teach people loving Allah and the messenger and everything else will come after it. That's it. If you love Allah and the messenger, everything follows. Everything follows. If we love Allah the most, and after that we love Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, then everything else will follow. And then the Surah Al-Ma'idah, what does it talk about? State level. At the state level, what do we see the climax here? Climax in what? And the completion of what? Completion of the deen, as well as the completion of the invitation to the people of the book. Okay? And what's expected now? No. Itmam al-Hujjah, we haven't come there yet. They're guessing.
Implement the guidance.
Good. Implement, establish, implement the guidance. Okay? Establish the guidance. Now this is group 1. Group 2. What is group 2 about? Itmam al-Hujjah. Itmam al-Hujjah. What does it mean? Fully convey the message. Yes? Good. And which 4 surahs in this? An'am and Araf. And Anfal and Tawbah. Good. What do these 2 surahs give us? Good. Excellent. Signs. Remind people. Good. Signs in creation. Signs in yourself. MashaAllah. Nafs. Signs in history. MashaAllah. Yes. When you give these signs, what do you establish? Itmam al-Hujjah. Very good. And then after the Itmam al-Hujjah has been done, if I write Itmam al-Hujjah, IH, what happens? Consequence. There's a consequence of this now. The adab will come if you don't believe still in the messenger that has come to you in person. So in Surah Al-Anfal, we see the first installment of this in Badr. And then in Surah Tawbah, we see the last chance to do Tawbah. Yes? Okay. And this also launches the da'wah from the specific audience of the Prophet ﷺ, which is the Quraysh and the Arabs in the Arabian Peninsula, and it launches it into the Battle of Tabuk, launches this into the general audience, the global audience. So his message is now being conveyed globally. Okay? So group 2. Group 3, so group 1 shows us the way. Group 2 manifests the practical implementation of the way and the vision, how to achieve it. And group 3 we have just looked at. What does it tell us?
Motivation.
It motivates us, yeah? Motivates us, and it gives us the Yes. Haqq will always win over batil. قل جاء الحق وزهق الباطل إن الباطل كان زهوقا. Yeah. And we looked at this from many, many aspects. We looked at this from the ideological aspect, if you like, ideological aspects, from political aspect, yes, moral aspect. We looked at similitudes and examples. Yeah. We looked at history that shows us this. Okay. Etc. Etc. Haqq always wins over the batil. And we said the character, the individual characteristics of the people of Haqq are where? Surah Al-Mu'minun. Yeah. And as a community, as a global entity, yeah? Surah Nur. Nur. And where does this global entity start from? In Surah Nur. This Haqq, where does it start from? From the
family.
From inside the heart of a believer. Allahu nuru samawati wal ard. Mathalu nurihi fi qalbil mu'min. Fi qalbil mu'min. Who said that? I said yesterday. Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma. Abdullah ibn Abbas anhuma radiallahu anhuma. Okay, good. Fourth group we are entering now. Group 4, 5, and 6. Let's understand them together, yeah? Group 4, 5, and 6 to initially understand it. They talk about, these three groups talk about Risala, Tawheed, Akhirah. Okay, Iman. Talk about Iman. Groups 4, 5, and 6 are all about Iman. Iman is everything. Okay, Iman is everything. Iman in Risala, Iman in Allah's oneness, His Tawheed, and Iman in the Akhirah, the hereafter. Three Imaniyat. Okay. In these groups of surahs, there are two strands. Okay. In strand number 1, we will find the proofs, yes, and response, okay, to the people, yeah, for the proofs and the evidences for Risala, Tawheed, Akhirah. So this teaches us how do we, what proofs, what evidence do we provide people of the Risala, of the Akhirah, and of Tawheed? And how do we respond to people's questions, their queries, their allegations, their misunderstanding, etc., etc.? How do we deal with, how do we manage this dawah? This is dawah management, essentially. Dawah management. So proofs of Risala, proofs of Tawheed, proofs of Akhirah. And the questions and responses to the audience. So mini case studies, if you like, yeah? That's why dawah training is not something you do overnight. Dawah training is lifelong, yeah? Because the more Quran you understand, the more your da'wah is, inshallah, improved. And then there is the strand of expectations from those who claim to believe. So expectations from believers. we Muslims, Allah Ta'ala, He has certain expectations from us and of us. If we believe in the Risala, what are the expectations? Checklists have been given, yeah? We expect this. If you believe in Risala, we expect this, 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 this. If you believe in Tawheed, really. If you believe in the Akhirah, then we expect this, 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 and this from you. Yeah? So this section, these three groups of surahs, which is the remaining part of the Quran now, beautifully links in, and hopefully you can see it as well, how this links to the first three groups. Can you see the link? The first group gave us the Sharia. This is your path. The second, and the vision. Second group told us how to walk that path. Third group is motivating us in that path. And now these three groups of surahs are now giving us in detail training, guidance on how you will do itmam al-hujjah in terms of risala, how you will do itmam al-hujjah in tawheed, how you will do itmam al-hujjah in terms of akhirah, and what type of life you should be living if you really believe in what you're calling to. Okay? Because if a person says something but doesn't believe in it, what is that person? Munafiq. Yeah? So we want to be saved from nifaq. So I hope, inshallah, you are clear about the next three groups of surah that we are going to start looking at here now. So the fourth group of surahs focuses on risala. Risala. So starting from Surah Al-Furqan to Surah Al-Ahzab. Surah Al-Ahzab. Surah Al-Furqan, you will see that Surah Al-Furqan is Surah 25, yeah? Surah 25, Furqan, then Shu'ara, Naml, Al-Qasas, Al-Ankabut, Ar-Rum, Luqman, and Sajda. How many surahs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that correct? 8 surahs will give us the proofs and responses and the evidences for Risala. 8 surahs. Yeah? From Furqan to what? Furqan to what? Yeah? Furqan to which surah? Sajda. Somebody, alhamdulillah, is listening. And then the last surah, Ahzab, is about if you believe in Rasulullah alayhi salatu wassalam, what is expected from you. You see this, how beautifully Allah has guided us to this. To love Rasulullah, we should digest surahs An-Nisa and Surah Al-Ahzab. Fully understand it. Yes, Surah An-Nisa and Surah Al-Ahzab, we would know the position and the grade of the Prophet ﷺ, and our love for him would be, inshallah, it would grow. The love which is potentially in us already. Remember yesterday when we talked about the nur inside everybody? The nur inside the heart of everybody? This would then catch fire, huh? Catch fire. Light upon light. Nurun ala nur. Khair. So that's a brief introduction to this section. We go further on to the booklet, group 4 then, has been mentioned as this, evidences and expectations. I think it would be fair for me to expect that you people, all of us, by the end of this Ramadan, we should be able to explain at least these 2 pages. These 2 pages. This, whatever is in this, we should be able to explain it, at least these lines, these bullet points to somebody and ourselves clearly. At least we should be able to do this by the end of the Ramadan, inshallah, yeah? Inshallah. Allahumma rabbi zidni ilman. Ameen ya rabbal alameen. So evidences we will see in the surahs and expectations of belief in Risala. Let's go now to Surah Furqan, Surah Al-Furqan. Surah Al-Furqan is a Makki surah revealed in the period of time which was roughly I think between the 6th and the 10th of Nabawi. Between the 6th and the 10th of Nabawi. Here we see that there are many allegations against the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes. The link between Surah Furqan, one of the links, there can be many links here. The more you contemplate, the more links you will find. There's no exhaustive list of this, yeah. The link between Surah Al-Furqan and Surah An-Nur, one of the links regarding the person of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is that in Surah Nur, there was the allegation against his family, Aisha radiallahu anha, yeah. And now in Surah Al-Furqan, there is an allegation against him, alayhi salatu wasalam, that he has fabricated this Quran, na'udhu billah, that he has written this Quran himself or with the help of others, and this is not the kalam of Allah. So Allah, He responds to this in this surah, and you will find throughout these surahs that the main evidence of the Risala of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is what? Quran. Yes, Quran. So this surah is called Al-Furqan because Al-Furqan is one of the names of Al-Quran. Al-Furqan means the thing that distinguishes and differentiates and separates the haqq from the batil, the truth from the falsehood. It's Quran. So the central theme of this surah, instruction to conduct the great jihad. وَجَاهِدْهُمْ بِهِ جِهَادًا كَبِيرًا. In this surah, conduct the great jihad with this Quran. This Quran is the instrument of your jihad against falsehood. By presenting the signs in your nature, in nature around you, in yourself, and answering the baseless allegations against the Prophet ﷺ, and establishing hujjah on the mushrikeen, who are also the deniers of Tawheed. And in doing so, describe the qualities of the servants of Rahman, Ibadur Rahman, without any sense of being overwhelmed by the mushrikeen and the kuffar. Yeah, this is a really good, this surah, and try to understand what I'm saying now, inshallah. Yeah, you know, we have read many times now in the Quran since the beginning, at least I can remember 3 times, that you should repel or you should respond to evil with what? Good. If somebody is evil towards you, yes, your response to that person should be good. Okay? Okay? Al-Hasanat, this is Hasanat. Al-Hasanat, good deeds. Yudhib is to rub out, they get rid of. Sayyi'at, evil deeds. Sayyi'at. Okay? So that's one ayah we read. And then Allah Ta'ala mentioned idfa' billati hiya ahsan a few times, and we will study it further as well. This surah is a beautiful example of this. Surah Al-Furqan, the evil is the allegations and the lies against the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes, and lies against him. The response given to them is, rather than waste time, yeah, rather than waste time with these false allegations too much, you do respond, but you don't waste too much time with that. Do something positive and productive. Invite them, these people, to become the Ibadur Rahman, Ibad, servants of the most gracious Allah. Become Ibadur Rahman. Instead of wasting your time with this, you should try to become Ibadur Rahman instead. Yeah, you see this. This is beautiful example of idfa billati hi ahsan. They are coming with evil, you are coming with something good. The other proof, in this surah, you will find proofs of the Risala. Quran is the proof of the Risala, yeah? Greatest proof. And then the other ayat in the Quran, signs. But also the proof of the Risala of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is look at the people that his message is producing. You see that? Look at the qualities and characteristics of the people who believe in his message. Look at those characteristics. Ibadur Rahman, yes? And with that in mind, inshallah, let's start to take this surah in a bit more focus, inshallah. So, first, the beginning of the surah itself, really, subhanAllah, the first word in this surah, really, it demolishes every argument. Fantastic, it's amazing. It's amazing this is, subhanAllah. This is Kalamullah, Quran. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Tabarak. تبارك الذي نزل الفرقان على عبده ليكون للعالمين نذيرا. Tabarak. Tabarak has been mentioned in the Quran 9 times. In this surah, it has been mentioned 3 times. And another surah that starts with Tabarak is Surah Al-Mulk. Tabarak means it is talking about Allah, who is the source and the means of all ever increasing and perpetual goodness. I hope you wrote that down because I don't know if I'll be able to repeat it or not. Okay, let's try to repeat it. Allah, Tabarak, Tabarak from Barakah, yeah? Tabarak means the one, Allah, the one who is the source of all ever increasing and perpetual goodness, khair. That is dawam, perpetuality, and increase in the good. Tabarak alladhi nazzal al-furqan means the one who has this, the one who is increasing everything in its goodness perpetually, which means never-endingly. He is the one who sent this Quran, which is ever increasing you in goodness. It is perpetual, it will never end. You can do whatever you want, you can never ever stop the Quran. This is what this means. So, for those people who are making false allegations, these 4 words, Tabarak alladhi nazzal al-furqan, they smash them completely. That's it, end of conversation. Because Allah Ta'ala is the one who's sending this, and the khair in this Quran will only continue and it will only increase the people who believe in it, and those who don't, of course, they will have no increase in this. Hope that's clear, inshallah. Okay, moving on. Then there are many signs in creation, etc., which I'm not going to go through. I'm going through only a few ayat because of the number of surahs we should try and cover today, inshallah. Ayah 27 to 30, the rights of the Quran. Talking about those people who have made all these allegations against the Prophet. Now, some of the questions they asked were, oh, why did Allah send a man? Why didn't he send an angel? Yeah? Why didn't he send an angel? And this has been responded to many times in the Quran. One is because you are not angels, you are humans. So it is befitting, it makes sense that an angel, a man should be sent to men and to humans as an example. Because an angel is not an example to you because you are different. The other is angels have a very specific purpose. And when they descend in their real form, it is adab, or it is end of life for you. So that's why Allah Ta'ala doesn't send an angel. And then they had another allegation that how can he be a human? And Allah responds to that by saying that every prophet and messenger has always been a human who would eat, drink, and live a wholesome human life at every human level. Yeah, so that's been mentioned. And then to these people who carry on this propaganda against the Prophet ﷺ, Allah Ta'ala is mentioning them from this ayah 27 to 30. وَيَوْمَ يَعُضُّ الظَّالِمُ عَلَى يَدَيْهِ. These people, they will bite their hands out of the frustration on the day of judgment. يَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِي. And they will cry and scream and shout and blame themselves. اتَّخَذْتُ مَعَ الرَّسُولِ سَبِيلًا. I wish I had taken the way with the Prophet, with the Messenger. I wish I would have believed in him. Ya waylata laytani. They're cursing themselves. Lam attakhidh fulanan khalila. I wish I had not taken such and such person as my friend who brainwashed me and misguided me and misinformed me and put doubts in my mind about this messenger. So this is the regret Allah is capturing. لَقَدْ أَضَلَّنِي عَنِ الذِّكْرِ بَعْدَ إِذْ جَاءَنِي. How sad, how unfortunate that I turned away and I was misguided even after this reminder, the Quran came to me. وَكَانَ الشَّيْطَانُ لِلْإِنسَانِ خَذُولًا. And remember, shaitan who deviates, makes you deviate, or rather not makes you, rather he persuades you and you listen to him, like we looked at in Surah Ibrahim. Then in the end, what happens in your time of need? He is khazula. Khazula means the person who leaves you in your hour of need. Yeah? When you really need him, that's when he shows his true colors. Khazula. And then this ayah is pivotal for us. So this ayah is saying not only to the disbelievers, but also to the believers, me and you. Yeah, so we have to listen to this ayah very carefully. This one ayah can save us, inshallah, in the akhirah. And our neglect of this ayah can cause destruction. وَقَالَ الرَّسُولُ يَا رَبِّي. And the Messenger, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he has said in his life regarding his specific audience, and he will say on the day of judgment regarding the whole ummah. Inna qawmi, indeed the people I was sent to, who are my specific and general audience, they took their response, their attitude towards this Quran, Hadal Quran, was one of mahjuran. Mahjuran means to do hijrah, yeah, linguistically. Meaning, when do you do, what is hijrah? What is hijrah? I've spoken many times. You leave something that is not very good to something that's better, yeah? From the disobedience of Allah to the obedience. Mahjura means that you looked at this Quran and you thought there's something better. You looked down on it and you turned away from this Quran. You thought there were pursuits in life which were more important and which were better than this Quran. This is mahjura. This is the attitude towards the Quran. Okay? There are 5 levels of mahjuran, of hijrah from Quran. 5 levels of hijrah from Quran. Let's look at them. So, hijrah from Quran. Number 1, a person abandons the Quran or does hijrah from the Quran by not believing in the Quran. Yes? This is 1. The other aspect or level of hijrah from the Quran, abandonment of the Quran, is person may believe in it but never reads it or recites it. Third level, person may believe and recite it but doesn't think it's important to understand it. And to be very honest, we are guilty of this big time as an ummah. This is our biggest crime. Fourth level of abandonment of the Quran is a person may believe, Muslims believe in it, they recite it, they might even understand it, but they do not act according to it. This is the next level of abandonment of the Quran. One aspect of acting that I came across lately was not to use it as shifa. And finally, not to convey its message is another aspect of abandoning the Quran. Yes? There are hadiths and sayings of the companions that mention that a time will come that nothing would be left of the Quran except its rasm. Rasm means it's the fact that it is written, and people will maybe recite it as a ritual. So you can see, if you just analyze the Muslim Ummah today, holistically, globally, yeah? If you look at the global Ummah, yeah, we will find there are many rituals about the Quran that we do as a Muslim Ummah. So we will read the Quran when somebody dies. Yeah, otherwise we won't read it. Or in Ramadan we may read it, alhamdulillah, we should, but we won't try to understand it or act upon it and then convey its message. So we have to, every human being is expected to do all five according to their ability. Yeah, fattaqullah mastata'tum. Fear Allah as much as you are able to, as much as is your capacity. So this is a very important ayah for us to understand, inshallah. Okay, the main problem, Allah Ta'ala is telling them all of these allegations, these questions, they are just a facade. They are just a cover-up. The main problem is, this is the main problem. And Allah Ta'ala is saying to the Prophet أَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. Have you not seen these ones, these people, they have taken their desire, their hawa, as their God, their ilah, ilahahu. Ilah means the one you obey. Ilah means the one you follow. Ilah means the one that you have designated, you have decided, yes, I'm going to act according to the instructions of this entity. That entity which you have decided, either at a conscious or subconscious level, that this is going to be my guiding principle in life, is your ilah. Is it clear? Yes? It's ilah. Every human has to have an ilah. Every human has an ilah of some sort. Allah Ta'ala is saying these people have taken their hawa, their basic animal instinct desires, as their Lord, as their ilah, as their light and beacon of guidance. This is their problem. Yes? And this is shirk. Because you have associated the right of Allah. He has the only right to be chosen, to be the one that you will follow and obey, and you will ask for guidance in every aspect of life. La ilaha illallah. This is what it means. La ilaha illallah. So this is the problem. And Allah Ta'ala says, you think that they listen and think. No, they don't think. Why they don't think and listen? Why can't they think and listen? Because they listen to their hawa, which means what? Which means, think about Surah Nur. The hearts become sealed when you listen to your desire only. Yeah, now make a note, there's a very fantastic ayah in Surah Al-Qasas that further elaborates this concept. Surah Al-Qasas, which we obviously won't look at today. ayah 50, if I can't, I think 50. Qasas, ayah 49 and 50. Read this ayah and read Surah Qasas 49 and 50, and you would be, subhanAllah, amazed. And it will be clear about guidance and misguidance. Okay. Then they would say, why doesn't Allah Ta'ala send the Quran all at once? You know, when people don't want to listen to something, they make silly excuses and silly questions. Yeah, they are silly questions when they don't want to do anything. Like Bani Israel. Remember Bani Israel in Surah Al-Baqarah? وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَوْلَا نُزِّلَ عَلَيْهِ الْقُرْآنُ جُمْلَةً وَاحِدَةً. So now there's another allegation, another problem they have. Why doesn't Allah send the whole Quran at once? So Allah Ta'ala then mentions this, and this has been mentioned a few times in the Quran. كَذَلِكَ لِنُثَبِّتَ بِهِ فُؤَادَكَ. First and foremost is that the Quran, because it is guidance, it is the means of educating your hearts and minds and your society. This has to be a gradual process to give you the firm understanding for you to establish and learn it and live it. This is an organic process which takes time. Yes? And this will strengthen you. وَرَتَّلْنَاهُ تَرْتِيلًا. And we have spaced it out so that you can recite it as it has been. وَلَا يَأْتُونَكَ بِمَثَلٍ إِلَّا جِئْنَاكَ بِالْحَقِّ وَأَحْسَنَ تَفْسِيرًا. And this allows the case study approach of understanding something. This allows the piecemeal revelation of Quran, which comes an ayah or some ayat or surah comes for a specific particular incident, which we call asbab al-nuzul, reasons for the revelation. This allows people to contextualize this information and really live the information and see its relevance. You see this? So beautiful. Allah Ta'ala has guided us in this manner. If the whole book was given to a person would say, what do I do with this book? How do I understand this? You see this? Okay? So Allah Ta'ala, He is responding to their question. And then ayah 51 to 52, Allah Ta'ala mentions that this Quran is now going to be your guiding light in your struggle against these people. فَلَا تُطِعِ الْكَافِرِينَ. Do not obey the disbelievers, means do not incline towards anything that they say. Yes? Do not incline towards the doubts that they are spreading. Rather, وَجَاهِدْهُمْ بِهِ. Be firm and clear about your struggle against this, and the Quran is going to be the light of guidance for you. Bihi jihadan kabira, and this is the great struggle. The great struggle is the winning of people's minds and hearts. Yeah, the ideological struggle. Then the last section, it gives us a beautiful list of the qualities of Ibadur Rahman. The Ibadur Rahman are the people that you people should try to become. These people, good people. Look at the people, Abu Bakr and Umar and all the other Sahaba. Look at them, how beautiful they are. This is what you should become rather than wasting your time. They are, I'll just very quickly list them. They walk upon the earth easily, which means they are not proud, they are humble. And when ignorant people like you argue with them, yes, as you are doing in the surah, Ya Quraysh, then they say salam. They will tend towards peace rather than igniting the fire. And they spend their nights in prayer, and they are very fearful of the Jahannam. And look at their financial lifestyle. Yeah, so they are religious in your secular mindset. They are religious, but they are also people who are not limited to your mindset, but rather they are wholesome personality. They live a life in everyday life financially, also according to Allah's instructions. So their spending is neither too much or not too less. They do not, and ideologically, they do not associate partners with Allah. And they do not commit the greatest sins such as kufr, such as qatl, murder, and they do not commit zina. And whenever they make a mistake, they will make tawbah. Yeah, they will make tawbah. They're not perfect. They do tawbah. They believe, again, they renew their belief and their resolve, and they will do good deeds. Allah Ta'ala will give them the reward of changing their bad deeds into good deeds. When a person does true tawbah, one of the benefits is that Allah Ta'ala changes that person's bad deeds into good deeds. This can mean a few things, but just we'll leave it for that. They do not witness falsehood. They do not like to be in the presence of anything that is displeasing to Allah. They don't like to be even in the presence of this. And if they by chance unintentionally come across something which is laghu, what is laghu? I said last time, what is laghu? Something which has no worldly or benefit of the hereafter, it is a waste of time. How do they respond? They respond marru kirama, with great honor and sobriety. Sobriety, yes. And when Allah Ta'ala's ayat are mentioned to them, they respond to them by listening and paying attention. Yes. And their lifestyle is all about asking Allah Ta'ala, رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَاجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. They ask Allah, oh Allah, our families, Ya Allah, from our husband or from the wife, make my husband or my wife and my children and the children that come after them until the last day of judgment, make them a coolness of my eyes on the day of judgment. That when I see them in this life, they are coolness to my eyes. And Abdullah ibn Abbas, he said, coolness of the eyes here means that their children or their wife or their husband, because they obey Allah, yes, they obey Allah, that causes them this causes them to experience the coolness of the eyes. وَجَعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. And they realize that we are all leaders in our own capacity. So they ask Allah, make us the leaders of those who are going to be muttaqeen. أُولَٰئِكَ يُجْزَوْنَ الْغُرْفَةَ بِمَا صَبَرُوا. And those people who remain steadfast in these qualities, all the qualities we mentioned, yeah? They remained and they tried to remain steadfast in these qualities. Allah Ta'ala will give them the ghurfa, وَيُلَقَّوْنَ فِيهَا تَحِيَّةً وَسَلَامًا, and they will be met with greetings of peace. خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا, forever. حَسُنَتْ مُسْتَقَرًّا وَمُقَامًا, the best place even for a little while and for permanent residence. Allahumma rabba ja'alna minhum. Allah make us from amongst these people, Ya Rabbal Alameen. We move on to the next surah, Surah Shu'ara. Surah Shu'ara means the poets. In this surah, it is mentioned, the 6 messengers have been mentioned again in this surah. If you remember now, yeah? Which are the 6 messengers? In order. Nuh, not Lut.
Musa.
He's the last. Musa is the last. Nuh, Hud, Salih, Lut, Shu'aib, then Musa alayhi salam. This has been mentioned so many times in the Quran, so it shows me you're not studying Quran properly. You're not thinking about Quran. They're just reading maybe. Process the information, think about it. Allah Ta'ala is telling the believers and the disbelievers, yes, all the prophets. So one of the proofs of the prophethood of the Prophet ﷺ is the continuity of prophethood. Meaning every prophet came with the same message. Yes? And you have come with this same message. Okay, so understand this. You know, when you see this, the readings, I don't know what it's called, and they check your heartbeat, yeah? So you see some readings, yeah? Okay. So now if you have a great change of the reading, yeah? It's called a blip in the system, let's say, yeah? So this is a problem, yeah? You think, what is this? It's odd. Okay? But the message of the Prophet ﷺ, it is consistent throughout time. All prophets came with the same message. Consistency, yeah? The blip is when you say Allah took a son, suddenly you say Allah took a son. All prophets before that said nothing like that, and suddenly you come with something completely opposite to what's been said. That's when you should think, oh my God, what's happening here? Yeah. So Allah Ta'ala is saying, no, this is consistent message. And in this surah, there are some ayat tarjih. Ayat tarjih. Tarjih means they return again and again and again. And at least six times we will find these ayat mentioned in this surah, which mentions, I will read it for you. إن في ذلك لآية وما كان أكثرهم مؤمنين وإن ربك لهو العزيز الرحيم. So a qawm will be mentioned, a nation will be mentioned, yeah? And then Allah Ta'ala will say, in this story that you've been told, there is a lesson. But unfortunately, most people will still not believe. And you should know that Allah, He is Aziz and He is Rahim. Aziz and Rahim. Rahim, Abdullah Ghafur. Rahim. Meaning, Allah Ta'ala, He is Aziz. You cannot stop His punishment. Yes, you cannot resist His decision. Nothing can resist it. He's Al-Aziz. And at the same time, for those who believe, He is Rahim. He forgives and He shows mercy. So to the people of Lut, Allah Ta'ala sent angels, yeah? Angels. These angels were Aziz for the people they destroyed, yeah? They couldn't resist the punishment. But the angels were a blessing and a rahmah for Lut and the believers. You see that? Allah Ta'ala is saying, you have to decide whether you want to meet Allah Ta'ala's Aziziyah, His irresistible nature, and be destroyed, or do you want to meet Allah Ta'ala's rahmah, His mercy? Okay. One of the proofs of the messenger in this surah, I have to be very brief now because of time, is given in the beginning of the surah. Brothers and sisters, I urge you, wallahi, I urge you, the best thing you can do in your life, yeah, the best thing, the best pleasure in this life is to contemplate on the ayat of Quran. There's nothing better. Nothing. You'll be so happy, fulfilled inside. When you study this surah, Allah Ta'ala, He has given us a key in the beginning. طَاسِن مِيم تِلْكَ آيَاتُ الْكِتَابِ الْمُبِينِ لَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ أَلَّا يَكُونُ مُؤْمِنِينَ. The key is this ayah. Perhaps you, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, would kill yourself with grief that they do not believe. Okay. So the proof of the messengerhood here is, we're listening carefully, please. Yeah? The proof in the messengerhood here is that he is killing himself out of worry for you. Yes? That you don't believe. Meaning he is selfless. And he is, despite all that you're throwing at him, he doesn't stop because he is sincere to you. This is a great proof. And then in this surah, we will find repeated, Inni lakum rasulun amin fattaqullaha wa ati'un, which means I am a messenger to you. And this will be repeated after every messenger, the 6 messengers. Yeah? Fear Allah, follow my way. وَمَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ مِنْ أَجْرٍ إِنْ أَجْرِيَ إِلَّا عَلَىٰ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. I do not ask you for any remuneration. I don't expect anything from you, material, nothing. My reward is with Allah. My wages, if you like, for what I'm doing is with Allah. Meaning, This is the proof of his sincerity. Is it clear? Is it clear? Yeah? Because there's no other motive. Because then you should ask the question, then why did he go through all this headache for 23 years? Why? Why? They offered him everything. He rejected everything. He said, I only want you to say La ilaha illallah. That's it. I don't want anything else from you. So this is the proof of his risala alayhi salatu wassalam. And then the surah mentions that the Quran is the Tanzilu min Rabbil Alameen. Let's read this section. Tanzilu min Rabbil Alameen. Innahu la tanzilu Rabbil Alameen. The Quran is that which was sent over a period of time. Tanzil means that it has been sent over a period of time, not all at once. Nazala bihi Ruhul Amin, and this has been sent via the Ruhul Amin, which is Jibreel alayhi salam, ala qalbik, upon the heart of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in order litakuna min al-munzirin, so that you may warn, bilisanin Arabiyyin mubin, and it is clear Arabic for you to understand. And it was mentioned before, and if you ask the people, the ulama of Bani Israel, then they will also confess to this if they are truthful. Yes? So that is Surah Al-Shu'ara. Surah Al-Shu'ara. And we can possibly take Surah Al-Naml. Surah Al-Naml, if I just summarize Surah Al-Naml. Surah Al-Naml, how much of it comes in the next juz? Do we know? A lot of it or just some of it? 55 ayats. Let me just take Surah Al-Naml briefly. Yeah? Surah Al-Naml is saying to the Quraysh leadership that in Surah Shu'ara there was a warning, yeah, to the Quraysh leadership that adhab will come if you, Allah Ta'ala's Aziziyah will, yes, come against you if you don't believe. But in Surah Al-Naml, Allah Ta'ala is saying, why don't you look at the previous leaders who had kingdoms that you can't imagine to have, like Dawood and Sulaiman, and look at the Queen of Sheba, yes, Queen of Sheba, that the Queen of Saba, look at her. She had a great kingdom, she had power, she had status, yeah, she had all those things that you are fearing that you will lose. But she gave into the truth. She accepted the truth, and look at the honor that Allah has given her. What's the honor Allah has given her? Yes, Allah, He is now showing her as a role model to you. So would you like to be remembered as role models of good or role models of evil? You see the message here? Yes? So this has been mentioned in this Surah Al-Naml to the leadership. The main quality of Dawood and Sulaiman in this surah is what given? Shukr. Shukr. They were shakur. They were grateful to Allah. And the other message given here of Sulaiman to the Quraysh is, you are using all your resources, yeah? For what reason? لِيَصُدُّونَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. What did you say? What did you say? Say again. لِيَصُدُّونَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. What does that mean?
Take away from.
Yes, to you yourselves, and you want others to stay away from this message. You are using all your resources for that, yeah? Look what Sulaiman alayhi salam used all his resources for. To invite to Allah. He used his resources to invite to Allah. You are doing the opposite. So learn a lesson from this story. And then the prophets, other prophets have been mentioned. The makr has been mentioned in this, that you you plan, but Allah Ta'ala, of course, is the best of planners. And then Allah Ta'ala, He honors the messengers. He honors the messengers in ayah 59. I think that's the last ayah of the Juzz. قَالُوا قُلِ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ وَالسَّلَامٌ عَلَىٰ عِبَادِهِ الَّذِينَ اصْطَفَىٰ. So Allah Ta'ala is saying that all praise is to Allah, and Allah Ta'ala is sending peace and blessings upon His ibad, His servants who He has chosen, meaning His prophets. So this is a great honor that Allah Ta'ala He is giving to these people. And the rest of the surah, inshallah, we will take tomorrow. That was just a brief summary of the content up to this juz. And from next juz, inshallah, we will continue. Bismillah. Khair.